everybody. It's been a while since I did a thrift store yard sale book haul, so I decided I'm going to do that today. And most of the books that I'm going to feature today are either like middle grade or young adult or maybe a little bit younger, like early chapter books kind of thing. So let's go ahead and get started. And the first book is one that I actually got at a yard sale, and actually the lady gave this to me for free, and it's Adventures of Wishbone, the Prince and the Pooch book. And I used to love to watch Wishbone on PBS when I was a kid, so I saw this and I had to get it, and when she said I could have it for free, I mean, that obviously made it even better. But I loved Wishbone, and I'm not sure if I'm going to read it or just keep it kind of as a memory. I'm not sure, but it's in pretty good shape, and I actually remember The Prince and the Pooch, the episode, so I always loved Wishbone. I just thought he was so cute. I always wanted like a dog like that, but I'm allergic to dogs, so probably not gonna happen. But so that's the first thing I got, and then the next book I got at a thrift store, I think it was Goodwill, and this is Tomorrow Girls Behind the Gates by Ava Gray, and it's kind of a older middle grade, maybe young adult book about some girls who are kind of in a post-apocalyptic world, and they get sent somewhere to where they think it's going to be better, but it actually turns out that it isn't really better, and they have to learn to survive there. And I love survival stories, anything that is kind of a test of human will and determination. I like those kind of stories. So definitely looking forward to reading this one, and there are sequels to it. So if I like the first book, I may read more in the series. And then we have Miko and the Fifth Treasure, which I've read the other book that Eleanor Coer wrote, Sadako and the Thousand Paper Cranes, which is a really famous book. And this book, like Sadako and the Thousand Paper Cranes, is about kind of the consequences after the U.S. dropped nuclear bombs on Japan. This one takes place in Nagasaki, and it just talks about, in this one, Miko, her hand is badly injured after the explosion, and it kind of talks about how that affected her life and how she goes on to learn to deal with the disability, especially since calligraphy was the one thing she loved more than anything, and then after her hand is injured, she can't do it as well as she obviously used to be able to. And it's just kind of about learning, to deal with disabilities, and when something gets in the way of your dreams, that kind of story. And I like these kind of books. Again, it's kind of the survival thing, the learning to adjust and deal with issues kind of thing. I like books like that, and I like historical novels. So looking forward to reading that, because Sadako and the Thousand Paper Cranes was really good. And then we have a Ready for Chapters book. So this one is kind of like a young beginning reader kind of book. The Klondike Kid, Book 1, Sailing for Gold. And again, the main reason I got this is just because I like historical fiction, and this one, it takes place in Seattle, July of 1897. The main character's mother dies, and then he runs away to Alaska to find his uncle, and it's just kind of like about what he finds in Alaska and like the whole gold rush and all that kind of stuff. So I thought it might be an interesting book, and as you can tell, it's not very long, and I mean, the print's pretty big, and there's lots of pictures, so that one won't take long to read, but it looks like it might be good. And then we have Nighttime, Too Dark to See. And I think I forgot to mention, but the other two books I got like at thrift stores or used bookstores too. Like all these books were 99 cents or less. I try to always get good bargains on my books. And this one is Nighttime, Too Dark to See by Todd Strasser. And I think I've actually read some books in this series, but I'm pretty sure I haven't read this one. And I like creepy stories. I like creepy kids stories. And so the back for this one says, have you ever seen a creature lurking in the shadows? Does your closet door open in the middle of the night? Do you jump for your nightlight when you hear a noise in bed? If so, then it may be too dark to see. Don't go far. You can never tell what's hiding in the darkness of nighttime. So I'm not really too sure what all this is about. I assume it has something to do with a train because of the front. It looks kind of like a ghost train, but I'm not positive, so who knows what it's really about. But I do like these kind of stories, so looking forward to reading that one too. And then lastly, for this collection, we have The Cabinet of Earths by Anne Nesbitt, which I've heard of Anne Nesbitt. I'm not sure if I've actually read anything by her before. I wouldn't be surprised if I had. But this just looks like a good kind of fantasy story. I'll go ahead and read the back since it's really short. On their first day in Paris, Maya and her little brother James find themselves caught in some very old magic. Houses with bronze salamanders for door handles, statues that look too much like Maya's own worried face, a man wearing sunglasses to hide his radiant purple eyes. Nothing is what it seems. So I like fantasy too. I like any kind of book that I can get lost in and just kind of enter another world. So I'm interested to give this one a try too. And this is more of like an upper middle grade or maybe even, a young adult book. So those are some of the books that I found recently at thrift stores and stuff. I actually had more than this, but I didn't, there were so many I didn't want to put them on the same video, so I'll do other videos for the other books that I've gotten recently. But these are the ones that I wanted to read next, so I figured I'd go ahead and do them in a video. And I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing if you haven't already. If any of you guys have read these books, feel free to comment, tell me what you thought of them, or if you guys decide to read any of these books, because I'm soon going to be reading these books, feel free to comment, come back to the video while you're reading it or after you read it and tell me what you thought, and maybe I'll give you my view too. So that's it for today. I hope you guys have a great night, and see you later, so bye.